Naba Chairman Naba Sugri Brimon, Paramount Chief of Security Traditional Area, the Regional Minister, Honorable Stephen Yakubu, the Chief Director of the Regional Coordination Council, and his directors and staff of regulated utilities, directors and staff of PURC, Regional Security Service Commanders, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. This is a forum where consumers and utility providers meet to discuss issues with the ultimate aim of improving upon utility service delivery. Before I continue, I've observed something in the region that I want to congratulate everybody. Both Ghana Water and VRA collection ratios is over 90%. It is not in all areas that you get this. Therefore, I once again congratulate the utilities in the region. They are doing so good, as well as the consumers, because if the consumers also don't come forward to pay, the collection ratios will be very low. Now, Chairman, in 2022, the Commission received tariff proposals from both the electric and the water utilities requesting for tariff adjustment. As part of the tariff proposal process, when the proposals were received, the Commission provided platforms for the utilities in some major cities in the country to explain to consumers why they wanted tariff adjustments. At those fora, the Commission expected consumers to critique the proposals from the utilities. However, most of the questions, more than 70%, that were asked by consumers were quality of service related. Example, billing complaints, low voltages, pipe bursts, no flows. Based on the above information, the Commission decided after the major tariffs were approved last year to create platforms specifically for consumers to meet the utilities and bring out their complaints. One of such platforms is what we are witnessing today in Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. The Commission has already had similar meetings in Kumasi, which was the first one, Kufudia, Ku, Cape Coast, Accra, and 2 weeks ago at Sunyani. This platform is largely for the consumers to bring out their issues to the utilities for resolution. In conclusion, I respectfully advise that the presentation from both PURC and the utilities are made brief so that the consumers will have enough time to ask their questions. At this meeting, everyone is encouraged to participate actively. Naba Chairman, on behalf of the Executive Secretary and the board, I welcome you all to this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
So at the regional office, our East regional office was started in January 2022, and it was supposed to oversee the Upper East and the North East regions. And then during this period, we did complaints management, we also did district or outpatient monitoring, public education, we get in public education activities, community monitoring, industrial monitoring, and prepaid revenue center monitoring. So during that period, the Commission or the office received 705 complaints, which we resolved all the complaints, giving us a 100% resolution rate. 95 of those complaints were lodged against the co, and then 4% were lodged against Ghana Water, and 1% of them lodged against consumers. So these are the various complaint categorizations. So we can see that quality of service had the highest, because we had issues of power outages, burst pipes, no flow, broken posts, and other complaints making up the quality of service. And we also have the complaint against consumers, that is six complaints were lodged against consumers. So the office receives our complaints through the electronic media, which represent 81% of the complaints received during the period. We also have 8% of our complaints from our field activities, or during our public education activities. People who have issues with the light always lodge a complaint with us. We also have 2% of the complaints being written by complainants to the commission. We have 7% phone-ins and then 2% walk-ins. So this, we have a complaint resolution satisfaction index, and it represents how, it shows how fast the utility service providers respond to complaints lodged by consumers to, or forwarded by the office to the utility service provider. So we have through the entire year, we have Ghana Water and NEDCO, and now we can see the total percent score. NEDCO had 94%. And then Ghana Water had 97.3%. This shows that Ghana Water had responded quickly to some of the complaints more than NEDCO. Through the intervention of the office, we were able to pass NEDCO, or the utility service providers were able to pass an adjustment of 26,538 Ghana cedis, 23 Ghana pesos. These were monies that were not supposed to have been paid by consumers, but they were paid. But due to the intervention of the office, these were passed as adjustments for consumers. We also have revenue recovery, where the office, through the intervention of the office, we were able to recover 332,267 Ghana cedis, 70 pesos for the utilities. We also, through that period, were able to replace 35 poles that were either broken, rotten, or spoiled. We also, through our intervention, 7 transformers were injected and also replaced. We also, through our intervention, we were also able to, the utility service providers were able to replace 10 poles.
Last speaker, a young, vibrant man, he's spoken a lot about NEDCO and about power. It is very key to our development in this region. And yesterday when I was engaging with them, I got to know that in the whole of Africa, apart from Egypt, we in this country enjoy, electricity more than any other African country. Yesterday I was arguing with the PURC boss. I said, but I was in Morocco as an ambassador, and they never put the light off even an hour. He said, because you were in the capital. So hearing that, I was actually very happy that we're doing so well, and especially in this part of the country, I think the company is doing fantastic, doing well, because once in a while, yes, but it's not as if what the down south, Accra, Kumasi, what they are getting. So I think we need to clap for them. In saying so, I think we also have many challenges. Those of you who have traveled and live outside Ghana, when your meter is there, no one actually even comes to inspect that meter, right? They sit in their office, they know what you're using, they know when there's a problem, and they fix it right in their offices. Why can't you do something like that? So there is more things for you to do. We are also Ghanaians, we are also smart people, we also want to pay our bills, sometimes even paying the bills, or even going, you go and there's a huge queue there. And you can't even, meanwhile you want to go and do something, you want to go on your computer, you want to go and then they are wasting your time. And the middleman is waiting for you. So you go for him. He mentioned Boko. You are a company. And there is a fight in an area. And you have left the place, carried your things out of the place. What do you want the people to do? They call you, you are afraid to go there. What do you want them to do? No, what do you want them to do? They should sleep in darkness. Please. I am being frank here. Okay, I am being frank. And we should tell the story as it is. What do you want the person to do? He should sleep in darkness while you are in Bolgatanga enjoying your electricity. No, he won't do that. He will find a middleman who will fix it for him. And I don't think that there's always a way. I remember in one of the conflicts, one of the main lines was destroyed. And they contacted me. We were able to get the military to go there with you to fix it. So if there's a problem, inform us. Then we'll find a way to help you to fix those problems for the clients. But if you decide not to go there and you think that there's a problem, there's a fire, you won't go there. Definitely people will enjoy the lights without paying for it. It's as simple as that. So I don't think that I want to hear that complaint at all. So, NECO, as we are happy with you at one stretch, we are also unhappy with you on the other stretch. What I agree with you mostly is about the MMDAs. I think I'm a corporate, as I stand. It's true that usually we don't pay our bills. But it is the way the system is. We will have to get the money from somewhere to pay you. So if that money is not coming, then we don't pay you. That is where the problem is. But we try our best to make sure that we pay. And sometimes I sit in my office and the light is gone. And then I have to go and find some money and to pay for it. So I think your smart meters will do the tricks. And if we are talking about smart meters, let it actually be smart. The problems are usually too much. And the people that you send for them to fix these smart meters, they will come and even tell the customer what to do to be able to enjoy the light for free. So as you employ your people, maybe pay them well, and then treat them well, and monitor them and make sure that they don't go and then tell the customers what to do to enjoy the light halfway, and then they will take halfway what they are supposed to pay you. And that is mostly that's what happens. How do the middlemen know how to go behind the meters? How did they know? Did you teach them? You didn't. You know the people who are teaching them is your workers that are teaching these middlemen how to go around the meters to be able to enjoy electricity for free. I think every person, every man and woman is corrupt until there is a system to check that man or woman. And if your system is up to be able to check, to be able to make sure that we get rid of the middlemen, to be able to make sure that no one will be able to go behind the meters and to take a light for free or electricity for free or the services for free, then at least you'll be able to recoup 80-90%. And we want you to grow because we want all the villages in the Upper East region here to be connected to electricity. And we know if you have enough money, you'll be able to do these connections and all our brothers and sisters who are also in the villages can have electricity and also to have light.
NEDCO is the supplier of services like this light, but the billing system and bills collection is very, very bad. And we have officially asked them to station an officer there. From Passenger to Walwale is 35 miles. This is a rural area. You don't expect farmers to go to Walwale to pay bills. The last time they came was 29 September 2022. They just gave information to one of the readers there that today they will be in Passenger. If anybody fails to pay, they will disconnect. They did that to my house. I wasn't owing anything. And as a Assemblyman, I was offended. So I want them to station somebody there, not only Passenger. Janga is over 60 miles from Janga to Walwale. And you want them to check and come and pay bills there. I think we are now in the modern time. That shouldn't be the case.
Concern well taken. But we also as well use
then let me learn, please. Again, West Mapusi is now very big. It needs to be divided. The staff they have there is woefully inadequate. They complain of bushfire burning over 1,000 poles. Again, Assembly members told them, don't bring people from Bolga or Walwale town to clear around. The community members use them, pay them on table to clear. They will weed around it to make sure the fire don't catch the poles. But every year, we have over 20 poles being burned down.
Most of them, we have power fluctuations and high voltage. And these, in most cases, lead to destruction to properties. And at times, it even leads to the gutting of our homes. So my question here is, does the customer have the right to make a claim for damages when said destruction leads to the loss of property?
Thank you so much.
If yes, how? If no, why?
PURC, this person I suspect director to take note.
I'm Paul Abakanaba, Assembly member for Public area. My issues are two. One, Ghana water, the other, Ghana water. The painful or worrying issue I have here is the fact that most of the pipelines pass through gutters, and most of the time they are joined. Sometimes they are broken.
You know, they pass through where?
Gutters.
Gutters.
Yeah,
Okay,
gutters. Sometimes it is broken and it's like the gutter that the water enters. And so, what are we going to do? Because the rate of typhoid is increasing.
Okay.
So I want us to see what we can do about that. The other one is the payment of electricity bills. Sometimes, let's say today I pay, let's say 100, and I'm left with maybe 50 or 20 to complete. The next day they come to do this collection. When I even show them my receipt, they say this collection, then you have to continue to pay. That actually demoralizes people. Because it's not, it's good to take the money, but it's not easy to find the money. So
It's good to take the money, but it's not easy to find the money. Honorable, thank you so much.
What is between PRA, fire service, and then PURC?
Okay.
When the man was making his phone, say when you have a problem, you come to the complaint office.
Yes.
Now there was a problem between a wood seller. When the fire
timber dealer.
Yes.
Okay.
The power went up on 3 occasions. So when they left home, the whole shop got burned with timber and machines. For 17 years now, the case is still handled. So I'm trying to figure out in that case, how will they issue money back?
Okay, so a customer who deals in timber suffered fire as a result of power fluctuation.
Exactly.
He has reported that the case has been lingering for 17 years. Very well, thank you. And did the person report to PURC, or where was the report?
By then, I read it here, PURC was involved. The case happened in our room.
Very well, thank you.
With the complaint of damaged property, the regional complaint officer did mention. The first process is to report to the utility. If it is Ghana Water or electricity, we always look at only electricity, but Ghana Water too can cause damage to your property. So you have to report to them and indicate what you have lost and what you are demanding. That is the process. If within some time you don't get response from them, then you can report to the PURC. And once you report to the PURC, we have our standard operating procedures we follow to investigate. We will send our officers to do some technical preliminary investigations to establish whether the fault was caused by water or electricity. And if yes, what happened? Who is responsible? So we've had cases where there have been several compensations of properties to people. Some have lost homes and the utility have to pay for it. Currently, we have a number of cases pending in the Netco area. Some of my colleagues are in Wa, looking at somebody who got his house damaged. Some of my colleagues are in Atebu, a hospital bungalow got destroyed because of electricity. So we have it, so the processes are there. With regards to the last questioner who talked about the 17 years case, I don't know whether it's pending in court. If you had reported the matter to court, PURC will not deal with it. If there is a bylaw, it can better be before the court, the commission do not have the right to handle such matter. You can make an appeal to the judge that you will want to go to PURC to settle the matter. And we've had instances where court refer cases to us. Currently, if I'm not, just before the beginning of this year, we have no less than 5 cases referring from the court for PURC to investigate and advise the court for a decision. So sometimes we even mediate, and whatever agreement is reached is filed in the court as consent judgment. But we don't run parallel. You can't be in court and be at PURC. And if the case is before PURC, if you go to court and say you are at PURC, they will refer you back to PURC until you are not able to resolve it. So whatever 17 years issues that you have, we would have lost the evidence of investigation. But mostly there are some reports that we can rely on, the fire service report. Sometimes we can use it, and out of our interactions with the party, we are able to resolve the matter amicably. So that is how the process is. So if you are at court, please, the parties can appeal to the judge to come to PURC, and after the settlement, it will be filed as the consent judgment at the court, which is enforceable anyway.
Thank you, PURC. Thank you so much.
In a cycle, that is 1 month. The last, either the last gate or the last 2 is the units you have consumed. So if it is up to 9 units, you just see 9. But if it goes above the first unit, so you see 10. So that is you have consumed 10 units. It's volumetric. So what you are saying is not money. It means you have consumed 10 units of water. That is why I explained that you multiply that one by the tariff for 1. So if the tariff for 1 is 7 cedis and your meter has read 10, that is if the meter is installed for the first time. Now, after the subsequent reading, you will not see 10 again, you will see maybe 17. So you have, it doesn't mean you have consumed 17, but you have to subtract your current reading from your previous reading from your current reading. So it means that you must be taking record of what is happening to your meter. And it's good anytime a meter reader comes to your house, you read the meter with him. So if January it is 10, February it is 19, so the reading for the consumption for the month is, you take 10 from 19 and you have 9. The next month is cumulative, so every time you have to subtract one from the other. That is how we do it. Now, pipelines in drains. Actually, this is a difficult one. Normally, that should not happen. But I know in some areas, anytime you excavate, you have exposed that portion to maybe water to wash away the topsoil. Of course, when it rains and it passes along that stretch, there could be possibility of that place turning into an artificial drain. It's not any proper engineered gutter.
But I know sometimes you see that the place the topsoil wash off, and it will become like a drain or a gutter. But it's not that we're going to put the pipeline in the drain. It has just the topsoil has just eroded. There are also sometimes the thing is properly done, but it comes to a time that maybe urban roads or feeder roads want to do their proper engineered drain. They are forced sometimes to move it and put it by the side, because in some areas the buildings are so close that even you cannot have the road. Then it will be hanging there, sometimes they clip it. It is also not designed to be in the drain, but with time you can see that some can fall off into it. Then we have the third case where illegal activities, people who don't even call us when you go to Abogoshi, Accra, things like that. They are doing their own extension in where we have the spaghetti lines. Everything mixed together. I've not seen much of that here, but this happened, and we will not. Anytime you see such a thing, please call us. If it's possible, we will relocate the lines, because it is not good for any pipeline to be in the drain. Thank you so much.
We have problems. Certain no-go areas in Accra. The meter man goes there, right enter, he has no access. How does he get the reading? So they're not even using smart meters. Bolgatanga is where using smart meters, but they are using meters far ahead. What happens is now they are using a system like a GPS. The person drives to the street and he picks up all the readings. Doesn't have to enter somebody's house. No way. And that's the American way. And the system is set that if it's giving you a debt pay, I don't pay, it's automatically blocked. You don't have access to water, no matter who you are. It's happening in Accra now. And that's the American way. That's the American way. Here, we're just using smart meters. And even the smart meters, because of errors in reading, the meter man comes to your house. He has an application on the phone. Apart from reading, you snap it. If there's error, the phone will tell you error. Error. In my house here, last year, the meter man came. He took the reading. He said abnormal reading. That was kindly check for leakages. Kindly check for leakages. This is abnormal from the application that you have. They said, oh, Chief, I said, yeah, I'm not here. I'll just come. They said, try. Not doing that, and later on, we had to call him, what type of company? That was the Best Buy. It was unusual. So it's true. Accra and going the American way. There are no more areas. There's no where this Tesalo, what, all buildings are built. There's no way you can enter. There's no way you can enter. Even enter, no access to the meter. So what do we do? You have to install what meters? No, yeah. What? Yes, they are using auto-sonic meters. Probably here we're using smart meters, but they are using auto-sonic meters. And it's taken, and they give you time to pay. If you don't pay, automatically shut from the system. You don't know what to do. You have to come and you pay penalties for it. So that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Any fluctuations continuously, or maybe one happening that you believe which resulted to the damage of your appliance, the procedure is the same as just somebody losing the house. You report to the utility first. What is important is that please take note of the date, the time. The date it happened and the time it happens. Because if they don't respond and you come to PURC, we will take the time and the date and we conduct our investigation. We have a standard practice which all the officers across the country know. 2 houses before, 2 houses after on the same phase. If it's a single phase, if it is 3 phase, 2 houses before, 2 houses after. So we find out from them whether they had the same experience. And when they had the same experience, what happened? Then we will now know it's coming from the drain. So if it's coming from the drain, we find out from the NETCO, their fault sheet. between this date, between this period and this period, what happened? So we pick the data, then we start our investigation from there. And like I have said, it's the same process as when you even lose your house. Any property at all that you lose, there's processes for that. So, but we always request that complain to the utility first. Complain to the utility first. But that doesn't mean that if they say they will not do it, you can't come to PURC. The gentleman said about they had 65 or 75% of direct complaints that came to PURC. That means they didn't go to the utility, but we always encourage you to go to the utility first. So thank you very much.
My concerns are on the tariffs, the new tariffs on the commercial meters.
Of which utility?
Ghana Water, please. So last year to January this year, I was charged 7 cedis 29 pesos as service charge on my commercial meter. And I was charged again 11 cedis on every 1,000 liters of water I use on the commercial meter. And February be okay. And the service charge had increased from 7 cedis to 29 pesos to 100 cedis. That's an increment about, it's about a 93 Ghana cedis increment. And the unit charge again, like the 1,000 liters, the charge on every 1,000 liter has increased from 11 cedis to 30 Ghana cedis. Okay, so with my business, I was always paying between maximum 200 Ghana cedis a month. And February bill came, and it's almost 600 cedis. So I feel the increment is too much. You understand?
Please take the next question, please.
My name is Apoka Ranasamuna, in short, Amuda, by popular known as One World.
One word.
Yes, one word. My first question goes to the electricity. We had a problem in our area. That was the Portugal Road. It took us almost 2 weeks about no current. You go and meet the complaint, they say they are coming, and they are not coming. As our original minister said, which is also destroying our other facilities. Sometimes you do another thing, the thing will spoil. So we don't know what is going to be the problem. My second question goes to the water and sewage. Secondly, personally, my house, where I stay, our meters fall. The guy came and told the meters fall. He said yes. Almost about a month or 2 months now, they are not doing anything about it. But they are giving us flat rate. How sure am I that I'm not being cheated about that? Thank you very much.
So my third question, please.
Thank you, President Buga, and Assembly Member of 1 year annual electoral area, Kassan and North Father. First has to do with Ghana Water Plan. I think somewhere last year, they invited the Power Central Assembly members and spoke with us concerning water expenses in some of the electoral areas because the services are only in the power townships. We went back and actually spoke with our community members, expecting them to come, and ever since we haven't heard from them. And so we still don't have any of their services in most of the electoral areas outside of town. And the next has to do with the network.
Thank you very much. My name is Axel. My first question goes to Ghana Water. Concerning the billing, when it comes to the billing, maybe the network may be having a limited issue because of the people. But Ghana Water still deal much on the postpaid. And when the bills come, they come late. As I speak to you, we have not received February bill. But the bills will come and accumulate. As a customer, I find it difficult to separate arrears from what I owe. Sometimes you pay, it doesn't reflect. You still see a lot of arrears, and you cannot reconcile the arrears and then what you have paid and then the current bill. So the whole thing becomes cumbersome and you cannot differentiate. So I don't know what are they doing to help customers realize this issue. But my other concern, I think the regional minister we have to thank the regional minister for taking on
So we thank the regional minister.
yes, for what they are concerning the issue of the middlemen. Because it is the service provider who are causing us.
Albert, thank you so much. Albert, thank you so much. Once minister spoke your mind, you have to see with sweat photos.
Yes, my name is Abdul Wahab Yusuf. I'm a certified electrical energy professional. My energy commission. The issue of permits for commercial property. I don't know whether it's a sample failing to do their work. That is why they are adding it to the utility, or is it that they just want to punish the customer? For example, I built my permit. I can apply to you to give me permit. You don't give me. You want me to follow you day in, day out. And then now I finish the property, then I go to apply for electricity or utility, then you are asking me to go back to Asambo for the permit.
Thank you.
Is it that they are failing to do their work? And another one too is that, for example, we are coming from the rural life. We are all coming from a village. My house was built when I was not there, local. Then you are asking me to bring a site plan of that house before I'll get electricity. I don't know. Sometimes we don't know. Maybe they should read things and see, because my house was built when I was not born. Especially even when they are constructing a road, at least they pay compensation to the local houses. Now I want meter. Then you're asking me I should go for permits or site plan before.
Thank you so much.
This question goes to Metro. During the presentation, in their statistics, they showed districts and their stations and complete numbers. But my beloved district, Biduri, was not captured. So I want to know why Biduri has a control station. We are still dependent on Oku for all our activities. That's the first question. The second one too is about the new meters. You know, I want to find out whether when an applicant is applying for a new meter, that he has to pay anything to any energy commission before he can get the meter, because sometimes those who always come to supervise will require you to pay an amount of 500 Ghana cedis and above before they can do these inspections and other things before they give you this meter. So I want to find out whether you have to pay before you can get a new meter. And the last one is you also spoke about no building of new communities. And I want to find out, maybe a community has been hooked to electricity recently, in which the contractor was not able to issue enough meters to the communities. Maybe 5 or 10 meters were issued, leaving the entire communities. And they also want to benefit from the electricity. So they now try to go behind the scene to do their illegal connections and other things. So what can happen to them for those communities? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sani Fuwaji. Listening to both Metco and Ghana Water, they spoke all that long, but they didn't tell us what they have done to our society, because we also got power from them and water from them. But corporate social responsibilities, we don't know. In Upper East, those they have supported, at least they should tell us what they have ever done. Corporate social responsibilities, that is what we want to know. The second question is, I want to beg you that we have seen something in our SMEs that we do, that we don't also see it in them as big cooperative corporations. When you go to the chopper, you see the women at the chopper. When you want to buy food, you pick a food free. You give it to the food seller. They sell the food to you according to the way you want. Then you go to sit down and eat. They are making their money. What Netco is selling out the meter for us. Then we buy the meter through hardware. They will buy their credit hardware. Then we use it software. Then we will finish and then it will go wrong.
Thank you so much. Next question.
I have a last question.
My name is Ziyara Zoro, a member of the Social Group for Bolgatanga. My question goes to the PURC. During
PURC, please take note.
Yes, during the slides, I mean, they showed us a slide that contained the benchmark and criteria in assessing the performance of public utility providers. My question to them is, in case these are in the data, we could see that those who use those utilities were not all that satisfied with the performance or the way the utility providers were doing their work. So, do they have any procedural powers to prosecute those who do not comply with the benchmark or the criteria? And secondly, I want to ask, where do the petroleum sector and then the communication companies fall under? Do they fall under PURC? Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Humphrey Atiga, Assistant National Youth Parliament, abroad. My first question, I want to know, when you apply for a meter, that is network, when you apply for a meter, all things being equal, how long does it take you to get a meter? We nearly demonstrated against the workers, the officers in the program. Because some people apply for meters, and it will take them more than a year. And others will apply within a week, they get the meter. I don't know why that will happen. You go and you tell them there's no meter. Meanwhile, you see them fixing meters. My next question, Dana Water. I want to also congratulate and thank them for the potable water that we are enjoying in the program now. My only question is, when will they do the extension work so that those who are in the hinterlands, they can also get water?
Thank you so much.
That's my last question. I want to find out from viewers that what factors do they consider before increasing utilities? I don't know whether you have to wait for a teacher to struggle with fair wages and get their 30%, then the following is 30%.
My name is Rafaldo. My question goes to NEDCO. We know a portion of our utility bills when we go to purchase power goes into street lighting. But within the municipality, we know street lighting reduces crime and aids visibility. But unfortunately, you go around the municipality and you find most of our street lights not working. Yet, 0.03% of our credits being purchased go to the NEDCO. The second question goes to water pumping. Formerly, we used to find fire hydrants dotted within the municipality. But quite recently, it seems those things are missing. Yet still, the percentage of our utility bill we pay goes to water pumping, which I think is about 0.04% or C's goes to water pumping. Yet sometimes when fire service or fire breaks out and fire service comes around and they run short of water, we see there's no water to quench fire. What are they doing about that?
Thank you so much.
For the monitoring criteria, which has various weights attached to them. And we've had several sanctions we have applied to both electricity and water. There was even some time that water tariffs or water rates were reduced for customers to pay low tariffs because there were some infractions that Ghana Water have done. So there was a penalty in that regard. They've also been times that we have compensations that have been given to both electricity and water users in Ghana. So the ratings, if they don't perform up to the standards, they are sanctioned in one way or the other, sometimes through the rate settings. Just recently, last month, we launched what we call the Ghana Utilities Performance Index. We call it GUPI. And it has done some ratings of all the agencies. So NEDCO, I think Upper East did fairly well in terms of the NEDCO operational areas. Ghana Water overall was second in the entire 13 regions that we have in Upper East. Upper East Regional Office was overall second. in the entire 13 regions that were rated. So the Google report too is on our website, and it also has to do with their punishment one way or another. So we have penalties, and we can, I don't know if the chairperson was part of the last board that he was attempted to prosecute for not answering to the order from the commission. And the board members had to appear before the commission to, on behalf of their management, in one way or other, extend and wanted to go around. And that was what resulted to reduction in tariff. So the PURC have powers to prosecute the operatives of the utilities and their officials. The unfortunate part is that we don't have the same power to do for consumers. So that shows how biased PURC is towards the utilities. But the powers are there. PURC, with regards to tariff adjustments, let's pray that the prices of fuel and crude oil and natural gas and even the cedi appreciate against the dollar. If the cedi goes up and the dollar is down, you are sure that we will have tariff reductions. So we are not always increasing tariffs. We look at the indicators that we have. And most of our power that we use currently is coming from private people. The IPPs constitute almost 70% of the power that we are getting. So when the MC was talking, in the local translation, he was saying, Akosumo fire. So now it's not more Akosumo fire. Electricity is not more Akosumo fire. It is electricity that's coming from mostly the private people. So 70% is from the independent power producers. And it's, most of the contracts are signed in dollars. So once the dollar appreciates against the cedi, you are likely to have an increase in tariff. Once it depreciates against the cedi, we are likely to have reduction in tariffs. And we also have some social policies that we put in place. And when we have good rains to the hydro component can reduce the tariff. So let's pray that at least our microeconomic indicators. Then the last one is the community water not being present here. Currently, PURC, we don't regulate community water. So whatever concerns that you have to complain to the assemblies or community water itself because they are a regulatory body or one. So we don't regulate them. Energy commission charges. I think ECG, NETCO will be in a better position to answer it that much. But at least the wiring professionals, you are expected to take wiring professionals so that you don't pay double. The inspectors are the only people who are expected to charge. And they have some rates that are given to the NETCO district offices or stations to paste. So if they are taking above the stated amount, please, you can complain to NETCO and whoever is involved that way, there's likely for them to take a certificate away. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
The low tension line at Tapatilambo, he said he wanted, he supports what the regional minister said. The honorable regional minister said a lot of things, so I don't know which one. But I mean, in summary, what he was saying was an advice. Ultimately, it's in the interest of the customer to avoid the third party, despite the frustration that it may be. No, we have a process. If you are not satisfied, there are responsible officers in the office. You can go as far as the area manager and lay your complaint. Let's avoid the middleman, no matter the circumstances. We have talked about that. The letter we received from the assembly indicating that going forward, we should not connect power to premises without building permit. And if we are going to engage on that, there are stakeholders, we must do engagement and find a solution around it. About the two inspectors for Bolga, then you know that there's a procedure Energy Commission goes through in certifying people to become inspectors. And then we will bring it to their attention so as to improve. Mohammed Arimiya, the low tension issue, unfortunate incident, I want to assure you that work has been given out and by the close of the week that issue will be resolved. Binduri, asking for Binduri district to be given an office. There's a process we go through. Our offices are not the political administration, but there's a process we go through, customer size and all that. We go through a number of processes in coming to a determination of putting a service center. So we'll look at the circumstances under Binduri and see whether it meets the criteria. If it meets the criteria, we will do the necessary documentation and request for that. Then your next question was payment to Energy Commission. Their rates, they are doing work for you. They come and carry out, test the wiring. There's a machine they buy for half this year. Very expensive to carry out that. So there's some fee that is paid to them. That is not the code. They are certified by Energy Commission. There are some rates. Like Alaji said, the rates are there. If you are going beyond that, then we can formally complain to the Energy Commission because they regulate their practice. So there are rates that they charge for residential, for non-residential premises. Then you ask, you pay before getting a meter? No, you don't pay before getting a meter. In fact, if you look at all our meters, it's written on it, not for sale. You are paying for the service, not for the meter. You are paying for the service. And for all our services, we give you an invoice, what we call a quotation letter, before the meter is installed for you. So you don't pay any other thing apart from the quotation, what the quotation indicates. New communities that the contractor goes to do the work is not completed, they run out of materials, then they go back. That is a challenge we are having. Once you start a SHEP project, the work is not completed due to shortage of materials, we commission the transformer to get power to a certain number of customers. If there is a need for the contractor to go back, the contractor must notify us so that we can pick the additional customers and build them. If you go back and connect them without recourse to us, they will have the challenge in filling those customers. Salif Majid wanted to know about corporate social responsibility. Yes, NEDCO has a corporate social responsibility policy. It is managed from our corporate office in our head office in Tamale. But locally at our level, we get requests for support for various activities at our regional level. And we do. There are requests to support for some festivals, some community activities, and we do that, we support. But I'm sure you're asking for some big corporate social responsibility facility that you can point to. That is done from our head office. Humphrey was asking how long does it take to acquire a meter? There are rules. The LI enjoins us when you request for the service within 5 days. We are supposed to give you the invoice, carry out the estimate, and give you the invoice. When you make the payment, from that day within 5, depends on the category of service. If it's a normal service job, within 5 days we are enjoined by the LI to connect the power. So there are processes and there are timelines. There are timelines. Yes, we may not be meeting all the timelines. We are struggling. We are hoping to even do better than the approved timelines. We are putting in measures to ensure that we are able to deliver the service even far below the PURC approved timelines.
Spoiled meters and replacement. Yes, sometimes the meters can get spoiled. When they get spoiled, what we do is we ask our customer care assistants to come and check if it's really spoiled. If it's so, we will really investigate what happened, how come the meter got spoiled. Is it intentional? Because we have customers that when they have a lot of arrears, they will intentionally spoil the meter. So that is also there. But whilst we are investigating, we know your average previous consumption, and we can use that to bill you. So it is not some magical figure. We know what you averagely pay every month consume, and we will give you an estimate on that. Like my colleague said, we do not sell meters. Normally, what we give you is new service connection fees, the digging, the pipes, etc. And I think one of the customers or the people said, well, if somebody is consuming, going to buy fufu, he doesn't buy the plate. The fufu, he only buys the fufu. But the fufu you are buying, the plate and the service is already in it. So when she cuts more fufu for you, she has taken part of the fee of the plate and whoever sent you. We can also do the same thing. We can also do the same thing. In providing services, PURC can say that nobody should pay for service fees. In your tariff, a small portion of it will be added, and then we give you free connection. But we are not yet there. What we are doing now is your tariffs, you pay for it, or it's covered by the tariff. Your bills is covered by the tariff, and then your service fees, you pay for it yourself when you want it. Now, new services, especially in Navrongo. Yes, we have water in Navrongo. Many of the communities in Navrongo are in the community water enclaves and catchments, and we cannot easily go in there. So that is a challenge we are having now. In areas where the community is within our catchments, sometimes they are very, very far away from our mains, and we cannot do it just by a kilometer or a length. What we sometimes do is we collaborate with them, ask them if they can come together, we support them to do the extensions. But when we put that across, they go and they don't come back. Delay in payment, delay in bill delivery. Please, like I said in my presentation, in delivering bills, we are currently running 2 programs. One is the electronic. So you will see that by the 1st or 2nd of every month, your bill will be on your phone. At least that is to give you, not an idea, it should tell you what your bill is, and you can pay with that. However, by the 8th or 9th of the month, your paper bill will also come. Sometimes what happens is the meter reader will come and will not find a credible person to deliver the bill to. And if he misses you the 2nd time, there's something, it looks like something has gone wrong. But your electronic bill is good enough for your payment. Corporate social responsibility. Well, my colleagues say in our own small way, we are doing something. For example, in Upper East here, we are ensuring to take every student that comes on attachment. When you finish or you are in university, you come, you want a place to learn, we will take you on. This is what we do to support the region. However, sometimes we get small groups coming, they want a donation of 500, 800, those ones we assist. But head office is doing the big corporate social responsibilities. Hydrants. Yes, we still work with hydrants. And wherever there is hydrants, we supply water into the hydrants. This place is good, we have water, and the hydrants will work perfectly. It is in some other areas you have hydrants, but if the pressure is low, the fire service can still not get the water. But over here we have water, and I assure you wherever there is the hydrant, you can get water in there. Thank you so much.
I think the idea behind taking a permit was to prevent people from building on roads and other unauthorized areas. That's one. 2, to also encourage the people to be in line with the policy of the assembly. And finally, pay property rates, because people dodge that. But we are still discussing that issue. I have been there a number of times concerning this big matter to connect my people into the system. But the Bolga East, since I've put a policy there, that when you want a permit and you apply to us, maximum is 2 months. Maximum. When you have your documentation right, within a month you should be able to get your permit. Because the meetings is not one person that will sit around and do this. So want to convene a meeting of technical people to assess, then you will get it. But currently what I have decided, and the assembly has approved for me, who have spoken at length, or some members who are in the committee, that when you are able to prove ownership of the land that you have acquired, by virtue of that owner and witness signing for you, and the chief or the signing for you, without the lease, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead. We are doing that. So you can come. So you are going to come for a permit and go ahead and process your whatever building things you do before you get your indenture through from land commission for 80 days. I think these are the issues that makes the assemblies try to push owners of buildings to come for the permit. Because when you build and finish, and you're not going for that, and these things are lacking. We have problems, series of problems coming up because of these kind of problems. So we are appealing to you that please, when we talk among ourselves, let's soften the way of you getting it, and you also come. Currently, yes, last week I was at the VRA. to talk on 3 community projects that have got some guarantees to community group members, and then a water area for gardening. I've taken upon myself, when you come and explain that you need a permit, I'll take upon myself to put a letter with your forms and go there and say, these are areas that I want you to connect to them, permit them and connect to them. But if you don't come, we cannot get through. For me, I'm ready for that. If you have a problem in your house of connecting because of permit, you come. I'm ready to assist you. Thank you.
Our major concern has to do with network failure. When there is network failure, it is not the fault of any customer. It is the fault of the network. So you don't expect a facility like, let me use XT while we are here. XT goes to buy electricity after 5 o'clock from a vendor. And he gets there, the vendor, due to network issues, cannot sell the electricity to him. Do you expect him to come and evacuate, let me say 50, 60 of his clients to a different hotel just because of network? I don't think so. So you see, some of the illegal connections you have been complaining of, you invite them yourselves. It is not just only the fault of, let me say, the customer, but you are a part of the problem. Number 2, I was very happy when water company gave timelines with regards to when you give a complaint or you apply for service. Maybe within 24 hours they are there to serve your interests and all that.
That took me to the office of PRA. In fact, after 6 months of complaints, writing letters that they are worth to meet the requirements of MPhil dissertation, no response. It took me second step and effort to talk to key officers in network, like the manager Musa, and then the billing officer here, Mr. Assad, to be able to get a technical person to the community to assess the problem where the problem had already gone beyond solution. And I had to still bear that cost. Network, you have to step up your responsiveness to our midnight cry for yourself. You are partners in development. PURC has also just come. I want to make an appeal that Ghana never made a mistake by doing or going for decentralization policy. Take PURC to the local level. Wherever you see network office or what Ghana Water Company office, also has a focal person around that, so that our people in the communities and the villages will also get there to report or share their concerns. Beyond here, let's make good use of community sensitization through community radio so that we'll be able to drown this message to the people who indeed deserve them.